Hello boys and girls, it's Miss Arenzi here. So exciting news for you. This week you would have received a little art pack which has a number of different types of pages in it. So it's got some black paper, some coloured paper, say corrugated or textured green paper. So we're going to be using those over the next few weeks. Okay, so today we're going to be revisiting our Van Gogh sunflowers. So you might remember that we were doing that earlier in the term. We're going to be using pastel this time. So the exciting news is that in your packs you should have received some pastel. So for example, yellow pastel and brown pastel. So we're going to be making marks with those pastels, and I'm going to show you how to do that. What you will need, so out of your pack, you're going to need the black paper. So if you can get the black card out, and what I'm going to recommend is that you turn to the page where you drew your original sunflowers. So you would have done a sketch of sunflowers, and then I believe if you check the curriculum, we talked about making marks and using pencils and texture and so on. Primarily pencils or pastels if you had them. But the good news is that now we've sent out the pastels to you, so you have that opportunity to use it. So this time we're actually going to be creating Van Gogh sunflowers. So we're not looking at actual sunflowers. We're going to be making marks and based on his work. So it's an inspired art piece based on Van Gogh sunflowers. So you're going to need the black paper. So again, just a reminder, the Van Gogh sunflowers, and you might also want to have a look at this. So this just gives the outlines of the flowers and also the seeds in the middle, just the general outline. So the first thing we're going to be doing is we're going to make an overall sketch on our black paper of the table and then also the flowers in the vase. So it's not going to be too detailed at all. It's going to be very simple sketch. Okay, so let's try that out now. So I'm going to do a bit of a sketch here of the table and then my vase in like that. Okay, well, actually might sort of goes out a little bit. So there'll be a reference on the website of your vase. And then now we want to just do some big round random kind of shapes for the flowers. And you'll see by using the pastels how amazing this is going to look. So I don't know if you can really see it there. You might be able to see a little bit. Can you see how the it's a very, very basic outline. Okay, now let's get stuck into it, the exciting part. So we need to remember how to create lines, different types of lines, especially zigzag lines. Probably also what would be good is sort of making swirls is also a good type of line to remember. They're the main ones for your petals, and then on our table we will be able to make marks. So a lot of this is mark making. Okay, so when I say mark making, it's just like a mark on the page. It's not like actual colouring in. Okay, so this is colouring in mark, so maybe a scratch, or it might be pushing up, as we've talked before. Then the line work, we're going to try and do, say, some zigzaggy kind of lines, which will give it that amazing effect. And when you look at Van Gogh's artwork, it almost looks like there's a lot of black type of paint coming through. So that's the reason why we're actually using this black card. Okay, so let's start with some of our flowers. All right, so select a yellow pastel and just going over, say, going around one of your flowers, the circles, try and make zigzag type of lines. So big zigzag lines, and you'll see the amazing effect that it's starting to create there already. Okay, so lots of zigzaggy kind of lines. If you have your own pastels, you can mix it up with different types of yellow. So feel free to also add to this. So I'm just making these zigzaggy kind of lines. So it looks almost like, you know, the sun rays, you could say. Okay, my zigzaggy lines are happening. Okay, so you can already see, just from doing that, you can sort of see already the petals have come into place there. All right, now what we might do is, also what you probably need is maybe a tissue just to wipe your hands. I'm actually wearing an art smock, so I'm wiping my hands on my art smock. Okay, we want to try and draw the table. So you could use that yellow again, just for the background lines of the table there. Again, if you have some of your own kind of pastels, you can add to it. I'd say use warm colours like yellow, orange, the earthy colours, browns and tans and so on. Okay, so yeah, we've got our table happening. I'm just going to add a little bit of yellow, orange to it as well. Okay, now I am going to probably, let me think, I might fill in the table with some of the sunflowers. Not really sure about that. I think I might just make some rough kind of marks and lines on my table. So I'm going to just, again, I'm just scratching the table. Okay, and then I'm going to use some brown as well. So, oh, actually I'm going to go around the vase. So this gives the impression of the vase here. Around the vase, and I'm going to add a bit more of the brown. And what you'll see is it actually is also letting that black come through, which is what we want. Okay, so a bit more of the brown. Okay, you can start seeing it's coming to taking shape now. All right. Again, if you have some extra colors, you can, you know, as I say, add in some other types of colors to your table, like earthy colors. Go around there a little bit. Maybe put a little bit more yellow in there. Alrighty. Now, what we are going to do is I'm going to add the seed section in. So you remember that the seeds are the inner part of the flower. So for this part, I'm going to just draw some circular types of lines around there. Circular motion. So swirling kind of lines. Okay, can you start seeing how it's starting to take effect now? Alrighty, now let me just check my notes. What else did I like to do? Right, the next step is, if you will leave the leaves till last, we might, with the vase, just leave it as it is. We're going to add in the background now. So for the background, you'll have a bit of blue, and you just making some marks there with the background. And also refer to the image that I've put up on the website. So again, I'm just making marks. I'm not colouring in. I'm like scratching, okay? You can see I'm scratching. And again, the black is starting to come through as well. Okay, so can you see it's starting to come together now like this, and you can see a bit of that black coming through. Right, if you wanted to, if you have some green, we might actually add some leaves. So you can just make some random marks to represent the leaves around the flowers. Yeah, so let's see. Get that some leaves here. I'm going to refer to my image as well. It's always good to refer to something. Okay. And then just experiment with this. I want you to really just try and experiment and see what you can come up with. And as you can see, where the vase is actually this black here. So we haven't colored anything in. It's actually the color of the paper. So we haven't had to paint or color it in. It looks like it's painted on. Okay, so again, go over your, you can go over your background, maybe choose a, so again, this blue kind of color here. Kind of rough marks. So if you look at Van Gogh's artwork, there's actually, it's very textured. Make another one there. Okay, so I want you to just explore and experiment with this, okay? I hope you have enjoyed this lesson, and I'm sure you're going to have a lot of fun with it. Okay, and I will see you next time. Bye.